When I first learned I would be giving this testimony, I was a little conflicted over what I would talk about. I wasn't completely sure if I learned anything new or if I experienced any major breakthroughs, and as a result, I was quite reluctant to accept this offer to write this testimony. I thought, why should I even give this? I'm sure other people had more impactful experiences than I did, so let them have this opportunity. But after some prayer, God opened my eyes to how He put this experience in my life to really just strengthen my relationship and faith in Him. And indeed did encounter breakthroughs at Movement. My name is William Cho, and I am a junior in the Bethel 3 House Church. I was on the Orange team this year at Movement, and deciding to go this year was a blessing. For me, to say that this past year was a roller coaster full of ups and downs is an understatement. Um, my spiritual life was pretty stable. 2021 was filled with experiences that built my spiritual life up greatly, and it never reached any valleys until school started this past year. School is and always will be tough, but this year was different for me. I began to underperform as compared to my other years. Pretty generic, but I began to experience low after low from many factors stemming from how I did. Um, Thoughts of comparison began to swarm in my head, and I was told by parents to cut ministry despite my opposition to this. My emotions were a mess. I was always either angry or miserable with the thought of school performance. They would affect my relationships, especially with my family, who I fought with almost daily. I began to fall more and more away from God, and I began to have many doubts and questions, and I felt as if I lost sight of what my value was. But I continued to pray and pray for a miracle, and Movement was my answer. I didn't see this at first, though. The weeks leading up to this event, I had low expectations, and I believed that I would encounter God strongly only to return to my sullen life that I was living for the past year. But my expectations proved to be wrong. At Movement, Pastor Mia and Joe remind me of my value as a child of God. Even if I doubted Him or didn't do the right things, God would still find me valuable, and this stuck with me for the whole retreat. So it was during praise that I always let go of my burdens and troubles and just surrendered myself to God, and I would always feel His presence so strongly. Um, God was moving powerfully through all the small and big things, from the games to the build to the small group discussions to the sermons, everything. God was moving. After Movement, initially, I didn't see myself having a huge breakthrough, but looking back now, my experience was nothing less than rejuvenating and reviving. Movement was personally a great reminder that in our times of trouble, God is always loving and watches over us. A little verse to end is Matthew 11:28. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Thank you.
Your hands, if you know, we thank our hand and call up your friends, 'cause we are here on the